Yesterday I had a wonderful time in the hills with my wife Loretta. She was taking some wildlife photos and I was doing a bit of fishing. Well, today we're back up in the same spot doing the same thing, but there's one thing different. Hey you! You're watching Robbie Fishing. Now you may have seen the video. I caught a few trout, a few redfin, we got some platypus photos, I got a bit of platypus footage. Today I'm back up in the same spot, but I'm using my fly rod. The fish are going to be wary because I only fished for them yesterday, but it's still going to be fun to try. Let's reproduce yesterday's adventure, this time with a fly rod. The reason we're doing this actually is because Loretta wants to have another crack at the platypus. She wants to try and get the platypus photos in a better light, with a bit more light on them. So that's why we're up here. Anyway, let's go cast this fly rod. Right, the water was clear yesterday, but it's clearer today, because we had that rain a few days ago, and yeah, wow, look how clear it is. These fish could be a bit wary because I only fished for them yesterday. I'm using a royal stimulator. I think it's about a size 12, and a little black bead-headed nymph underneath it, and it's not far underneath it either. This spot's not nearly as deep as where I just was. That's why when I set up this fly line earlier, I only used a small dropper. Oh, something hit that then. Pretty hard spot to get a fly into here. Oh, but I managed it. Look at that, perfect. Bugger it. Right. I just caught a tree and lost my nymph. So I broke the line and tied a bit of extra line on so that I've got a longer leader. And I've put another nymph on, but I've got it down a bit lower on a longer dropper. Got him on the dry. Oh, I done him. He came up and grabbed the dry. I watched him come up under it. I watched him come up under the dry. Something swirling under there near the nymph. Oh, I might have lost my only opportunity. Bugger. He came, maybe I just didn't strike hard enough or something, I don't know. He just came and fair grabbed it and I struck. Everything was just perfect. But he got off anyway. Sometimes that's just the way it goes. Oh, wow, there's another take on the dry over in the back there. I missed him that time though, I didn't even hook him. Fishing down onto a pool sucks. But sometimes it might be the only way you can get to the pool. Got him! Oh, I think I done him. I did too. That's 2 lost fish. Two near fish experiences. The other one was a better fish. Right, now Loretta and I have made our way to this inlet at Lake Buffalo where we saw the platypus the other night, because Loretta wants to try and get some better platypus photos. This time I had my underwater camera in the creek the other day, but this time I'm just going to put it directly under the culvert here and see if there's anything swimming around here. And then I'm going to be fly fishing, but with my longer 7'6" rod. I've just got to tie a new leader on and set that up. So I'll put this camera in first, then I'll set my fly rod up and see if I can catch a redfin on a fly. Rightio, GoPro, start recording. Right, that's recording. Let's just lower it directly down here in front of this little culvert. Not very deep. I can see it on the bottom. That's not really what I want. That I'll have to do. Righto, I've got my underwater camera in. It's not in all that deep, but you never know, I might pick something up. I've got a big dry fly on here called a half down hopper on about 6 foot of leader, and then I've got a long dropper, nearly 3 foot long under it, with a little nymph that's currently caught on my fishing bag. So I've got a dry with a nymph about 3 foot under it. The plan is the dry will act as a strike indicator, so that if a little redfin grabs the nymph, I will, that's working. If a little redfin grabs the nymph, I'll be able to tell when the dry fly gets pulled under. That'll do. You can see my dry fly there. I can see my dry fly out there. This is going to be a lot more challenging than when I was here. It wasn't last night, it was actually the night before last. With the bubble float, when it gets a bite, it bounces and creates rings, and you can see the rings and you can see the float a lot easier. The fly is smaller and harder to see, and it won't bounce, it'll just disappear. I can see a bit of grime and stuff just moving from left to right next to my fly, but my fly isn't moving. I reckon that's because it's got a bit of slime on the bottom of the, on the bottom. I reckon the dropper's too long. I'm going to shorten my dropper. Rightio. Putting my line back in with a shorter dropper. The dropper's only about 60 centimetres or so, I suppose now. Not even that. 50 or 60 centimetres. Me dry just went under. I'm too slow. I was way too slow. Something just grabbed me nymph. Me fly went under. That's all happening. I've got to tell you, this is the first time that I've ever tried this type of fishing, and I'm inspired by a guy that follows me. We go, oh, something's hitting the nymph, there's something down there. I'm inspired by a guy on my Facebook page that follows me called Brian Alexander. I've met Brian here at Lake Buffalo of all places. But when I shared a photo of one of the tiny little redfin that I caught here the other day, Brian shared a photo of a tiny little redfin that he caught not far from here on a little nymph while fly fishing, and I thought, that's a good idea, I'm going to try that next time. Right, so I've got to be quick by the looks of it. If I see him, look, there it goes. Did I get it? I might have struck too fast. The moment I see that dry go under, I've got to strike, because these little redfin are going to pick up that nymph, and then they're going to choose pretty quickly whether or not they want to spit it out or keep it in their mouth. Got him. Exactly what I thought. This is a Brian Alexander inspired 3-inch redfin caught on a nymph. Exactly what I came to do. It wasn't about the size of the fish, it was about the challenge. Challenge accepted. That's tiny. That is so tiny. Loretta's just spotted a huge big goldfish swimming around over here, so I'm going to try and cast my nymph right in front of it and see what happens. It's gone over to the left. That's right in front of it. But will it take the nymph? It's looking. No. Check it out. They're hard things to catch, goldfish. Cannot land it right on its head. That did. Oh, that spooked it. Got him. Oh, here's a nicer one. Look, he's putting up a bit more of a fight. I don't think it's a big fish, but it's certainly bigger than the last redfin that I caught. This one might be 10 centimetres long. That is actually that's a goldfish. It is bigger than the last fish that I caught. It's a goldfish. Wow, I've given it too much slack here. Hopefully the hook doesn't fall out. I dropped the line by mistake, but I've set the hook pretty tight, so it should still be in its mouth, I reckon. As I reel in the slack. Is it still there? Yep, it's still there. Loretta saw a bright orange goldfish on the other side of the creek before, on the other side of the bridge before, and I tried to catch them and it didn't do any good. Now this is a carpy coloured goldfish, but I can tell by looking at it that it's just a large goldfish. When I was fishing here the other day, I went through everything I could catch. I said I could catch a Murray cod, a trout, a silver perch, a Macquarie perch, blah blah blah, but I never said goldfish. Hopefully the line doesn't break doing this, but if it flicks like that it will. Yeah, it's gone. Snap the line. I couldn't jump over that fence or go under that fence if I wanted to at the moment. So anyway, folks, I'm going to count that as caught. I caught a goldfish on a nymph. That was pretty special. Now, before we wind the evening up, let's have a look and see if the underwater camera picked anything up. Not really what I want. Once the debris settles and we can see a little bit, the first thing you'll notice is that the camera angle is okay. It's far from perfect, but it could be a whole lot worse. Once I put the camera in, it took a whopping 38 minutes before the first fish came along. I might just jump to that part. It's going to be a pretty boring video if I just share 38 minutes of that before you see a fish. A small redfin just turned up from nowhere. That was it for a little while, but then a bit later on there was quite a bit more movement. This next clip, this is an interesting one. I don't know what this is. I'd say it's some kind of nymph, something that's probably begun its life under the rocks at the bottom of the water, but now it's time to grow wings and fly, so it's emerging. It's making its way from the bottom to the water's surface where it'll grow wings and fly away. That's my guess, but I don't know for sure. If anybody knows what this is, please let me know in the comments below. If you look to the top of the screen now, you'll see a large goldfish swim over. I wonder if that's the one that I went on to catch. Anyway, some people will tell you it's a goldfish and others will tell you that it's a crucian carp. So I dug a bit deeper and done a bit of research, and this is what I come up with on Wikipedia. Some sources state that the goldfish is a cultivated breed of crucian carp taken from the wild. Underneath it says, aside from confusion in nomenclature, and I don't know what that means, there is the practical issue of distinguishing true crucian carp from goldfish hybrids. So in other words, they're pretty much the same thing. It's believed that the colours, the colourful goldfish, may have come from breeding crucian carp with something else, with a koi or something, who knows. But basically, if you read any papers or handbooks or guidebooks around, you'll see when there's fisheries are listed with certain waterways, there might be cod, redfin, trout. It might say, and goldfish. So basically we have goldfish, which could be crucian carp or crucian carp hybrids, and we have European carp, the great big ones with the whiskers. These goldfish are usually a lot fatter, more of a perchy kind of shape, a deeper body, and they normally don't grow much more than about 30 to 35 centimetres long. This is quite a large one. make that 2 large ones. And now we have some other kind of random bug. Is this a stick caddis? I'm not sure. If anybody knows, once again, please feel free to let me know in the comments below. Is that another small redfin or is it a small trout? You'll hear a little bit of splashing in the background if you listen really carefully. Then you'll see a heap of water get stirred up with mud. I reckon that's me catching the goldfish on my nymph. Now I have absolutely no idea what you just saw on the underwater footage because I haven't even checked it myself yet. I can't really do that until I get home. Anyway, that goldfish, it was unfortunate that it got off. I didn't have a landing net with me because I was only expecting to catch small redfin. There's actually a lot more goldfish in these lakes than you realise. I've never heard of a European carp being caught here in Lake Buffalo, but I know there's quite a lot of goldfish in here. I've had a lot of fun. I've hooked a couple of trout that got off. I caught a tiny redfin, and I'm going to say I caught that big fat goldfish. It was probably 35 to 40 centimetres long. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching.